Hello, my friends. I promised you I'd be
Hello.
back. And Sleepy Josh is here. He
Hey,
promised he would
everybody.
be here too, so he's here. Okay, so we're just going to do a quick vigil. We're going to talk about the rally. I'm going to give you some speaker updates and some just other like organizing updates so we can keep you guys in the loop. But obviously, we want to do numbers first. Again, I didn't like organize these or write these out, so I'm just reading these off the little app thing that I have that keeps track of all the days. So it'll be a little discombobulated. So there's been 4,301 days of illegal and arbitrary detention for journalist and publisher Julian Assange. It has been 1,254 days since the WikiLeaks founder was essentially kidnapped from the Ecuadorian embassy and arrested. It has been 618 days since he was denied bail, just 2 days after Judge Vanessa Baraitser ruled against extradition and then also kind of called for his release in her ruling, and then 2 days later denied him bail, which was an interesting move on her part. Let's see. I don't know what that one is. What the fuck is that? It's been 534 days since Daniel Hale pled guilty to one charge under the Espionage Act. And you can write to him and support him. He has I think it's, I don't know. Just look it up on Twitter. Like, I think it's like Daniel Hale support team or whatever. I'll pull it up here in a minute. But you can write to him. You can donate to him. Call for a pardon. All of that stuff. He shouldn't be in prison. It's crazy. There has been 340 days since Daniel Hale was transferred to a communications management unit in the prison that he is in, which I think is in Marion, Illinois, if I'm remembering correctly. And again, communications management unit is just essentially special administrative measures under a different name. It has been 1,253 days since Ola Beni was arrested in Ecuador. His case is ongoing, and holy crap, there's a lot of shenanigans. So he updates fairly regularly on Twitter at Ola Beni, at OLABINI, and it's so much drama. Like, there's just constant delays and bullshit. So you can follow him for updates on that. Keep track of that. It has been 16,587 days since Leonard Peltier was convicted under some really shady circumstances. And we're trying to push to get him a pardon or whatever. He's in his late 70s of ill health. And he really shouldn't be in prison. At the very least, the dude should get a new trial, given all of the corruption and all of the bullshit surrounding the investigation and trial and all of that stuff that he experienced. So I think that's all the bad news, maybe. Good news, we have, I hope I don't miss anybody. Let's see. 917 days of freedom for Chelsea Manning, 667 days of freedom for Jeremy Hammond. I forgot to add X's on here. 558 days since Reality Winner was released. And 290 days since Craig Murray was released in the UK. Okay, so I think that's the numbers. I might have missed one or forgotten one or something in there somehow,
Man,
but
that list has gotten so fucking long.
there's so many more that we could and probably should add, but I mean, I don't want it to be like 20 minutes of me like telling everybody how horrible everything is and how many political prisoners there are. You know what I mean? So
Insanity.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot we could add. Okay. We have lots of stuff. I'm so excited. First of all, the planning for October 8th is going amazing. It is super cool. Multiple different groups have kind of come together. Both of the Assange group or New York groups, New York Assange groups are helping. Paula's helping from Boston. Assange Defense is helping. I'm going to forget people, and I'm sorry, but there's a lot of people that are helping and that are pulling strings and, trying to get things done. So, which is nice. I'm usually not great at I like to do everything. And so but everybody's just getting shit done, and it's nice. It's so good. Like, for example, my friend Randy Credico in DC kicking serious ass straight up. Like, he has the billboard truck out there. I don't know if you guys have seen pictures of it, but it's multiple sided. I think it's 3 sides. Like, there's a small one on the back, 2 sides. And they've been driving around for weeks now, and they're going to keep it going through the elections. I think they're going to try. Ben Cohen of Ben and Jerry's has stepped in financially to, he's going to match any donations. So you can go to Randy's website. I think it's Assange Countdown to Freedom.com, maybe. I'll pull it up. But if you donate, then Ben Cohen will match your donation. And they've also been handing out like little flyers and stuff, including flyers for the October 8th event, which is dope. It is Assange Countdown to Freedom.com. I'll put it in the chat. So Randy and James have been driving around DC, talking to people, handing stuff out. And in fact, James was able to get me the business card of the chief of staff for Thomas Massie. So I hit him up and I told him that he should come. And so we'll see. The guy just like CC'd their, the guy that does their schedules and shit, but Thomas Massie should come to the rally. And so should Tulsi Gabbard, and so should Justin Amash, and so should anybody. You should come. Everybody should come. It'd be cool to have elected officials there. I think that would be, not that they matter. You guys know how I feel about that, but just optics wise, I think would be a shift. So yeah, we'll see. But they're passing out some flyers about the October 8th event, which is fantastic. And actually, I think Assange Defense is going to pay for, like a week before the event, they're going to do the billboard truck with the flyer, with the information. So that's dope. That's amazing. And we also have a fucking awesome list of speakers so far. And it's just still growing. Like there's still people that we are in contact with that are trying to work out scheduling conflicts or that are unsure because they've got something else or whatever. But so far we have, so libertarian author Jim Bovard is coming, who Scott Horton put me in touch with. Thank you, Scott Horton. I love Scott Horton so much. He is fantastic. He's, in my opinion, one of our most important foreign policy voices. So, and so I reached out to my libertarian friends and was trying to get some contacts, and that's who Scott Horton suggested. So he's going to be there. My dear friend, one of my favorite people, Eliza Blue, who is a human trafficking survivor and also advocate. She's dope, and she is one of my favorite people because she genuinely understands how the Assange stuff relates to what she does as a survivor advocate, as a survivor, like being able to, for those people to be able to speak, you know what I mean? To be able to come forward against somebody powerful. She understands very much how those two things are connected. So I'm really excited she's going to speak. And I think that I think that's going to be very powerful because, as you guys know, I preach about that all the time. It impacts literally all of the things. And she really gets that, like how, like the specific connection there. So she's amazing. Let's see. We also have, Sleepy Josh will love this, Reverend Annie Chambers. Reverend Annie Chambers. I'm very excited. I've interviewed her, but I've never met her in person. So I'm very excited. And obviously, Ian Schlafman will also be there. I might have to fight him to speak. I usually do. But
let's go, Ian.
Yeah. But I'm really excited that Reverend Annie's going to be there. That's going to be great. And then also she's friends with Lucy. Oh, shit. I'm so bad at names. Oh, why did my brain just go blank? Lucy, the singer. Christ. It's right there. Oh.
I'm worse with you than
I'm so bad. I'm so sorry, Lucy. I'm just really terrible at names. My brain just went entirely blank. But she's like she sings with a choir and like so she's friends with Reverend Annie. She's very excited so that's going to be good. Garland Nixon is coming.
Yay.
It's always good. Very excited to have Garland Nixon there too. So Ben Cohen, who I just talked about, who is helping to finance the billboard truck from Ben and Jerry's. He's been a long time supporter. So that's cool, of course. And people, like, I'm already seeing, well, I mean, it's Benny, who's one of our most dedicated trolls, but saying that Tulsi is trash. I don't care again, this would be a good time for me to remind you that I don't give a shit about your personal beef with any of these people. I don't agree with any of them on everything. There are some of them I don't really agree with on much. You know what I mean? I don't care. That's not what that's about. So we're pulling people from across the political spectrum on an issue that should be and is post partisan, that impacts all of us. And I don't care about your your personal whatever you got. So yeah, Benny has a problem with Garland Nixon too. Don't care. Really don't care. We have Joe Loria coming from Consortium News. Pumped. So pumped about that. And speaking of Consortium News, they also have an event happening. I think it's on Sunday. Let me pull it up real quick and make sure. But Consortium News is hosting they're doing a live stream of Juan Passarelli's film. Hold on, I can't talk and Twitter at the same time. I get confused. They're gonna run the film, and then they're gonna do, here it is. They're gonna do a screening of the film, and then there's gonna be like a panel discussion.
Did he do a new one?
No, this is the one from last year.
Okay.
They're just everybody, like, because things are where they are. I think everybody's like, the urgency is kicking in. I think.
No, it's great. It's great. I recommend everyone watch it.
Yeah. No.
Well done.
Legitimately, it's so good. It packs so much information into less than 50 minutes. I think it's like 48 minutes, maybe. It's so good, and it's good for the uninitiated. You know what I mean? Like people who aren't
it's
in the weeds.
And it's not super boring. So like, I mean, it's he did a hell of a job on it.
It's just like a good initiation. It doesn't get into the weeds on any of the specific, because there's a lot. I mean, this case is fucking crazy. It's like there's a lot going on. It's very complex. A lot of it sounds like a bad spy movie when you try to explain it to people. So
it sounds like a bad cocaine story or something. It's crazy. Like some jackass in a bar starts telling, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. So but it doesn't get into the weeds on anything in specific, but it does a very good job of laying out the kind of broad strokes, basic information about why you should give a shit, how this impacts you, what the broader implications are, all of that stuff. So it's really good. Like if you have somebody, or if you yourself are maybe like not super like into it just yet, you're just like kind of happening upon it, which I know many people are. That's a good place to start. I always lead. If I need something super short, I go to the Matt Kennard video. It's like less than 5 minutes. It's a couple years old, but it's also very good. It's very well done. And then if you have more time, I always go to the Juan Passarelli film. Those are my like go-to top choices. Hi, puppy.
Sorry. Just scared the shit out of me.
Okay. So yeah, that's happening. Oh, I meant to pull that up, and then did I not?
I don't think you pulled it up.
Sorry, I'm all over the place. I mean, I don't know why that's all the time. I think you guys are used to it by now. I don't know why I'm apologizing. It's just what you get. Deal with it. Okay, so here is I'll pull it up on screen. So September 18th, which yes is Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. So it's the new DC group, which they're fan-fucking-tastic. They kick ass. They're doing amazing. Like they're doing. That crew is taking care of like permit stuff and all of like the local. They're helping us with the sound system. It's so nice to have local people there. And seriously, it's like kick ass. They're kicking ass. So yeah, they're the ones putting this on. Consortium News is then doing the streaming of it. So they're going to do a screening of The War on Journalism, the case of Julian Assange. And then afterwards, there's going to be a discussion with Juan Passarelli, Daniel Ellsberg, James Goodale, John Kiriakou, Chip Gibbons, Stefania Maruzzi, Kathy Vogan, and Joe Loria. I mean, that's an amazing panel. That's a really amazing panel. Stefania Maruzzi is like one of the coolest people on earth, I think, in my opinion. If you don't know who she is, she's an Italian journalist, and she has been in like a years-long battle with, I think, 4 different countries filing Freedom of Information Act stuff to try to get information, because they try to do a lot of the Assange stuff like in the dark. So she has been in a years-long battle trying to get that stuff released, and she is relentless and amazing. So yeah, don't miss this. This is going to be awesome. on Sunday. And Joe Loria is one of our speakers actually on at our rally. So I'm really excited. Also, John Kiriakou is going to be there. So I'm really pumped that we have him. Steven Donziger is going to be there. Randy Credico secured that today. I'm very pumped about that. I mean, obviously, other whistleblowers or people who have been persecuted politically, like Steven Donziger, are great voices to add to the conversation. And I mean, those are two of the biggest ones, really. And then also we also have, Dan Cohen is coming. He's a journalist. He's awesome. He lives in DC, and I think he's only missed like maybe one of our events. He comes out anytime that we have something going on. He's one of our most consistent supporters. I appreciate him. And he's a fantastic journalist. So I'm really excited to have him there too. And then also we have Chris Hedges coming. Yay! So excited. So Chris Hedges is going to be there. We're also working on a lot of other people. Like I said, the Thomas Massey staffer has been reached out to. I'm going to bump them again next week and like put a little pressure on, like, hey, what do you think? You going to come or what? Because that would be really awesome. I'm also trying to get, Dave DeCamp from antiwar.com he's like, I don't know, 90% sure that he can come, but he just had to work some stuff out. And will let me know as soon as possible whether or not he is a for sure. But I think probably he's going to be able to be there. Olivia Rondeau is coming. I am trying to get her to speak because she is a very good speaker. She's like a legitimate conservative, and it has been my absolute goal. And I love her. I think she's great. I disagree with her on a lot of things, but I think she's awesome. I have a lot of respect for her. So, and she's a great speaker. And she understands the importance of this case. So we are genuinely trying to get people from across the spectrum. For my liking, it's even a little bit too lefty leaning right now, or whatever. But we're trying. Like we're making an effort to really get people from across, because it is, again, it genuinely impacts all of us. If we can't come together on something like this. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean we have to be besties, guys. You don't have to go on vacation with people. You don't have to, have play dates with their kids. We just have to come together to fight for a thing that we should all care about. I don't know why that's controversial. Sabby Savs is a possible too. So she is trying to work it out. She said that she's pretty sure that her and her husband are going to be able to make it, but not positive. So obviously I said, if you're going to be there, we would love for you to speak. Being an independent media, that's it's kind of impacts her directly. So hopefully she'll be able to speak. Also, I'm going to be on her show later tonight if you guys want to check that out at 8:00, just so everybody knows. But then we also have a lot of asks still out. So that's a lot of people already. We do have a 3-hour long event though, so we have plenty of time that we can have different people speak. And then we are also trying to work on doing also a kind of a video audio campaign. So for people who can't make it, like for example, Jimmy Dore, I reached out to him. Obviously, he's a longtime Assange supporter. And he is in DC the following week for a show. So he can't like extend his stay for that long or make it twice in that short of amount of a time. Or like Glenn Greenwald, who obviously his husband's very sick. They live in Brazil. It's not feasible that he would be able to make it. So we're hoping that we can do like a social media rollout video wise, like do like a mashup of some kind of just everybody do like a quick, like, hey, I'm Jimmy Dore, blah, blah, blah. I support Assange. We are all Assange, whatever. So that those people can still participate. And then we'll have them record like a longer statement that we can play at the event itself, so like a couple minutes or whatever. We just want to like as many people as possible give voice to, and also we want to make sure that on the ground activists get to speak. It always bothers me when people have events and then they only invite like big name blue check people and they don't include people who are actually doing the work. It always bothers me. So there will be local activists from DC. I'm sure people from the New York groups will want to speak. But yes, we will have interspersed throughout. I mean, it's obviously great to get people like Chris Hedges or Garland Nixon or whatever, because they do have big names, they have big audiences, that brings attention. But I also want the people who are doing the work to be able to have a chance to speak. You know what I mean? That always bothers me. Maybe I'm weird. Okay, so those are the speakers. Again, we're still working on more. It's going to be amazing. I'm really excited. Sleepy might be coming.
Maybe. We'll see.
Sleepy might be coming. I'm so excited. I'm telling you, you can't not come now. I'm not emotionally prepared for that disappointment. I'm just not, Sleepy Josh. I'm just not. Yeah, so it's going to be fun. There's Roar Media's coming out from out west, which is dope. I think they're going to help with streaming potentially, because we want to stream the shit out of this. What else? I feel like I'm forgetting a shit ton of stuff. Oh, if you guys can, again, I know we talked about this last week, but if you can help reach out to people in independent media. Benny, we've reached out to some shit libs. I don't expect any of them to accept, as my guess. And we've reached out to some leftists, and we've reached out to some people that I honestly are questionable people that I'm not sure we should be reaching out to just based on some things. But I mean, I preach welcoming. If you are in favor of press freedom and a freeing Julian Assange, I am willing to work with you. If you're legitimate, though, because I think some people like to use this issue for their own personal bullshit, and I take issue with that. But yeah, I'm not opposed to shitlibs coming. We don't have to agree on everything, and I hope that those people realize that too, because like. And again, if other people could reach out to like people like Ryan Grimm or Jordan Cheriton, those people don't like me for whatever reason, which is fine. But I would hope that they could remove me from the thing. You know what I mean? It's not about me. And I have reached out to them already, asking them to help promote the event and spread the word. I've not heard back from many of them. It would be cool if they did, though. It's not about me. Hopefully they can. That'd be nice. They have huge audiences, so. And if we can get Tucker Carlson to talk about it, great. Kennedy, if we can get Kennedy to talk about it. Joe Rogan, if we could get Joe Rogan or Russell Brand. Russell Brand's a supporter, for sure. So if we could, and I'm pretty sure Joe Rogan is too. He's only spoken about it a few times, and it's been a little weird. I'm pretty sure he's a supporter, though. But they have huge audiences. So I'm pretty sure Russell Brand would do it if we could just catch his attention. And I need like help with that kind of stuff. So if you guys also reach out, the more of us that do it, the more likely they are to see it, or whoever runs their social media will finally be like, okay, I'm tired of seeing this in the mentions. I'm going to bring it to Russell's attention or whatever. Don't be annoying or rude or whatever. Just try to, hey, we're doing this thing Saturday, October 8th. Can you help us spread the word? Yeah, anybody with a big platform, I've been trying to get them to talk about it. And literally anybody, like if it's UFC guys have been pretty supportive. Jake Shields, for example, retweeted the flyer, which was cool. I checked out his Twitter feed. I disagree with him on a lot of things, but he has a huge platform. He's a supporter of Julian Assange. He's willing to share it. Dope. So whoever it is, I don't care. I mean, really, within reason. Obviously, we don't want, like somebody from the Azov battalion retweeting our shit. That's not a good look. They wouldn't, though. So, it is what it is. But yeah, we just need to get the word out. Totally need to get the word out. Yes, Russell Brand will get lots of attention. And yeah, I mean, I am a mom, so it's just natural for me to, don't be rude. I have to tell my kids that all the time. Don't be rude, assholes. What else? What am I forgetting? To kind of go along with the Surround Parliament thing, so the yellow ribbon. We may have talked about this last week. I'm not sure, but just in case we didn't, the yellow ribbon thing. Thanks to Truman, who is awesome in the UK. He does the yellow ribbon campaign for Assange. He's the one that's like collecting names and countries, and then he'll write it on a ribbon. Then he ties it around all of the different locations. So if you want your name on a ribbon for the October 8th event in London, you can send it to him. I think it's, I better pull it up because I'm not sure what the numbers are. But you can send your name and country to him and he'll put it on a yellow ribbon and tie it outside of Parliament on October 8th when they're doing the Surround Parliament thing. But to go along with, I'm going to drop his Twitter handle in chat. To go along with that theme, we're going to do a yellow ribbon to surround the Department of Justice. I don't know why. I just got an error occurred on YouTube. This is usually temporary. Wait a moment and then try again. All right. Don't fuck with me, YouTube. There it goes. Maybe. Did that come up in chat for you guys?
I see it.
Okay. That's so weird. I'm taking a picture of that because that's never happened before. YouTube fucking with me. I think it's shit, now I forget what I was talking about. Oh! Sorry, again, I'm all over the place. Again, you guys are used to it. So to kind of go along with the Surround Parliament thing, we're going to do a yellow ribbon and we're going to surround the Department of Justice with like a massive yellow ribbon. So I think we're going to do 2 ribbons and then like kind of like go around and then meet each other, if that makes sense. We'll see. But I think visually that will be cool. We do have to compete also, because the idea obviously of this rally is to just call attention. Hopefully we can get some press coverage, also to galvanize the support base, try to get some more information out, all of the things that, rallies are supposed to do. But hopefully that will, we have to kind of compete with the Women's March as well. The Women's March is happening that weekend, which is unfortunate. We didn't pick the day. As is the case with most of the global Assange events, somebody just picks a day and they start an action and then somebody else hears about it and they're like, oh, I want to do one too. And then somebody else hears about it and they're like, well, I want to do one too. And that's really what happened. It was London picked a day and they're like, we're going to do this big thing. And everybody else is like, okay, we're going to do a thing too. So, yeah, the Women's March it's going to be hard to get press coverage. But it is what it is. We're going to do our best. It's also obviously hard to get people out. Unfortunately, I mean, I understand it's hard to travel. It's expensive to travel. It's not easy to take time off of work. This is a weekend, but still, if you live far enough away, you're going to have to take some time off work, most likely. So it's not always easy to get people out, especially for something like Assange that is so complex and controversial and for dumb reasons, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think it's going to be probably our biggest yet. The idea that Randy is currently in Washington, D.C. right now, all day, every day, talking to people, handing out flyers to people who live locally, that's huge. Like, we need more of that. I think I'm going to go myself, maybe like 10 days out and spend, if I can swing it. Again, it depends on babysitters and life and all of that stuff, but I would love to be able to go down like 10 days before and spend like a couple days going around to like the outer like just the slightly outside of the Beltway neighborhoods and flyering or whatever, because I think that's going to be, if we're going to get a lot of people, it's probably going to have to be mostly local because flights are fucking stupid, gas is stupid expensive, the Airbnb prices went up. Like, I was looking at Airbnbs and everything's just more fucking expensive. So is what it is. We're going to do our best. I would love to have a shit ton of people out there. A shit ton of people should be out there. If you know what I mean, like, this is a big one. It's important in my opinion. But we'll see. We shall see. Hopefully it'll be good. We do have great speakers so far and more are coming. I should have more updates. soon. We are constantly working on this. I'm not joking. It is like a constant. If you've ever organized anything, you know. Everybody's constantly working. There's emails going out constantly. Everybody's on the phone constantly. We have like designated meetings once a week. There's like it's a whole thing. So we're constantly working on stuff. There's more speakers that we're reaching out to. I know like there's some that can't be there. Max can't be there, unfortunately, which Max is usually pretty cool. He's been to like Dan. He's been to almost every single one of our actions. I think he's only missed maybe one or two. He's going to be out of town though, so that's unfortunate. I think Lee Camp's in Europe during that time. I think he's on tour with like Ron, maybe. I don't know. Margaret Kimberly can't make it. We asked her. I think Ajama Barakuk is unable to make it. I think maybe Jill Stein is a possible. I think still. We're trying to get a hold of like Dennis Kucinich, Oliver Stone, Justin Amash, Tulsi Gabbard, which her locals community, somebody in her locals community, I tweeted at her. I've been trying to get her attention. And the people who are, because I don't do locals, I don't even know how to do locals. But somebody who's in her locals community said that they put that in there. So hopefully she will see it and she will come. That would be a cool addition. If you guys have any ideas, it's still a little lefty for me. I would like to have a couple more conservatives, right-leaning, libertarian, whatever. If you know anybody who you think would be interested. I thought I was going to have another guy, but then he had messed up his schedule and he had a conflict. So I would love to get a couple different right-leaning people. And yes, Kevin, I know I'm not a fan of Ryan Grimm either. I mean, but he is a long-time vocal supporter of Julian Assange. He has interviewed the family. He has, so it's not about my personal feeling about Ryan Grimm or his personal feeling about me. He hates me, y'all.
Right?
He hates me. He hates me. This dude blocked me, talked shit about me on his timeline, and then unblocked me. Like, he hates me. I don't know. I mean, I've called him out and stuff, but I don't know. It's fine. Like, I'm not for everybody. That's okay. It's not about me. So yeah, I don't care. I don't care about anybody's personal beef with any individual, including my own. There's people that we're reaching out to that I'm not a fan of at all. But it's not about me. So yeah, check your ego at the door, homies. It's bigger than you. Alex is here. Alex, do you want to jump on? Actually, I can send you you can update us on really quickly about all the stuff that's going on. I'll send you the link if you can jump in. Oh, balls. That's the wrong button, Winston. Come on. I'm going to send it to you on the tweeters at the candles. Alex runs Candles for Assange. You guys have heard us talk about this a gazillion times. She does an amazing job of collecting all of the events all year long. Not just like this one that's happening right now, but anytime that there's Tara Reid lives West Coast and doesn't like to go to DC. I don't blame her. But I could probably get her to do a video or like the mashup thing. For sure. Yeah, for sure. She is a 100% supporter. So that's Alex's Twitter page. She keeps track of all of the my computer's being so dumb. All of the global events year round and keeps them cohesive and tweets them all out in one place. It's like a one-stop shop if you're looking for Assange related events. So Alex, if you can jump in, we can go through some of the stuff that's happening on October 8th. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of fucking stuff. And I thought I saw Italy I thought Italy was probably going to do their own thing. It looks like the Italy crews are all meeting and going to London, which is dope. I love that. I wish I could go to London. I really want to go to London. Pam, we reached out to Pam Anderson too, or we're trying. Um, yeah, she's a longtime vocal supporter. Shit, Sarah Palin. She came out and apologized and said she was wrong about Julian Assange. I didn't think about that till just now, but I don't know why I didn't. Sarah Palin. Why not?
Oh my god. Yeah, make it. Everyone's gonna be all big mad.
I don't care.
I don't either. I just think
I
it's funny.
really don't. Like, it's not a. I just don't have time for that. It's just so juvenile. Oh, that person I don't like supports the thing that I also claim to support. So now I can't support the thing. Are you a child? Like, what is wrong with you? And there's so many of those people. There's so many. Jimmy can't come. I just talked about that. Maybe you missed it. Jimmy is in DC the week after our event. And so he can't like prolong his trip that long or make it out twice in that short of amount of time. It's just scheduling wise, he just can't make it work. But I'm gonna get him to do like one of the video things. I know he will. Him and Steph both, I think, will probably do the statement thing. Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm really excited. We have some great speakers and more are coming, but I would really like to have a couple more. Like, I don't know. The Libertarian Party is for sure going to help promote it. I don't know if I could get like maybe Angela or something to come and speak, or somebody from the party. I'm not opposed to that.
Well, Burma's.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't think about that either.
He'd definitely do a video, I'm sure.
He will definitely do a video. Yeah, no question about that. I could get like Clint Russell to do a video, Reed, Eric Jackman, Phil from All That Remains. He's I don't know if I think he's a libertarian.
I don't even know anymore.
Right-ish, I think. For sure he's not a leftist. I can say that.
Garland should be there, lady.
Huh?
I was reading chat.
Oh.
Someone asked about Garland.
Garland's coming. He's confirmed. Garland is confirmed. So, again, we have Jim Bovard. He's a libertarian author that Scott Horton hooked me up with. We have Eliza Blue, who is, I think she labels herself as an ANCAP. So, she's she's more anarchist than anything. Chris Hedges, obviously lefty. John Kiriakou, I think, is kind of more lefty-ish, although I don't think that he really ever speaks about. Do you know? Does he ever really?
He doesn't really. I've never heard him speak about it.
He's kind of apolitical publicly. Yeah. At least to my knowledge. Annie Chambers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Black Panther, obviously. Garland Nixon is kind of like lefty. Ben Cohen is lefty. Joe Loria is a journalist, and I think tries to do a pretty good job of staying apolitical publicly. Dan Cohen, I think, would probably say he's more leftish. And then Don Zinger, I think, is, although I've not really heard him label himself, I think just by who he surrounds himself with, I think he's more left-leaning. I would love to get Susan Sarandon. That would be dope. That would be cool. Yeah, so I think if we could just get a couple more people who lean to the right, I think that would be better, because it seems a little bit too right. Am I imagining that?
You need both. You need both audiences, man. Like,
yeah, and I like my whole goal. Katie will do a video for me, or maybe not a video. She'll do audio for sure. She doesn't do a lot of video stuff. But yeah, like my whole goal, I mean, like my whole goal is I want to get people from across the political spectrum. Like, that's what we preach, is it's not about any team, any faction. It's not about your ideology. I don't give a shit about your isms. Drop it at the door. come together on an issue that literally impacts all of us in a huge fucking way.
There's going to need to be more people than just the amount in each party.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Yeah. Well, and like a lot of people don't care about parties. Like there's a lot of people don't belong to a party and they don't want to belong.
I stopped asking people what fucking party they belong to, and I get along just fine with them.
I just don't care about like your I mean, yes, do we have disagreements and ideological differences? Absolutely. Sure. That doesn't really fucking matter as far as this goes. Like this. Do you want to free Julian Assange? Do you want to fight for the future of press freedom and free speech and truth? If so, welcome aboard. Like we can have our other let's just focus on that thing that we agree on for these 3 hours, and then we can move on. You know what I mean? On to the next thing. I don't know why that's a complicated ask. It is really mind-blowing to me, actually. So weird. For sure. Anyway, it's depressing is what it is. Because I'm going to take shit for this, for having these people, for bringing these people together. I am already taking shit for it. That will continue to happen. And that's really weird to me.
We're used to that shit by now.
Yes, but it's just really weird. Why? Like, why are you mad about that? I don't understand why you're mad about that.
We're just random people anyway. I'm like, why the fuck? Like, sorry.
Right?
You want to do a better job, then fucking do it.
Yes. If you are somebody that is constantly smearing, attacking, harassing, literally stalking activists, and you're not ever actually organizing anything yourself, and you're not ever actually holding anybody who has any actual power to account, you have issues. I don't mean that in a glib way, or that's weird. I'm sorry, but it's weird. Yeah, that's a very strange thing to me. But we could probably get Vivian Westwood to do a video. We're going to try to get like Stella to do like a video statement, John and Gabriel Shipton. I would love to get like Craig Murray, Roger Waters, like all of those people we can reach out to do the video thing. And then we can just do like a mashup, and we can play, in between, like we can do 3 live speakers and then do a couple minutes of we can play that over the sound system of the different statements that we get. Something like that. I mean, we'll figure out the logistics of it, but I love the idea, and it's thanks to Paula from Boston. She came up with the idea of doing allowing people. I think it was Paula that came up with it. Sorry if it wasn't. I'm pretty sure. But that gives people who are unable to be there in person the opportunity to participate. And here's Alex. And also,
yeah, Alex.
Yeah. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
Alex!
Hi, how are you? I'm in my pajamas, so
that's all right. That's all right. It's been a while since I've seen you. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. You're doing a wonderful job. I'm just hearing all the people you're gonna have
so
there.
Excited. So excited.
Wow.
It's coming together really nicely. I'm pumped about this one. Hopefully people will come out. Hopefully we can make some noise with it. Just trying to keep up with London, really.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, so what else? How many other places do we have so far?
Okay, so you I think you reported as well that Milan and Rome I got wrong because I wasn't reading the Italian on the poster right. But they were just organising transport to London, which is even better.
Awesome.
But I mean, it means we've lost a couple of cool cities on our list. But anyway, we have now got Ottawa, which is fantastic. Doc School listed an event at Centennial Flame. So it's sort of a monument in front of their parliament there that they intend to surround and do some music and bring art, it says on his flyer. So I've listed that one on the thread in Twitter, and I'm going to make a new thread soon that will be updated because it's getting a little bit out of date now. Really exciting news is that I don't know. Do you guys know who Monica Schmidt is in Australia?
I'm terrible at names, Alex. You know this.
Okay, so she was one of the organisers of the very initial Melbourne protests tweets, and she's a major supporter of Assange.
Cool.
So obviously, freedom protests rather than Assange, though, is her fame. She got arrested really early on in that whole scene because she organised a big protest in Melbourne that kept on going for, I think,
was that the
Wellington.
Camp? The camp?
Yeah, the Parliament. Yeah, people did sleep there. A little bit like Wellington. Wellington was more like a festival by the Parliament. If you can imagine, it was like a healing festival. It was amazing. I think Melbourne was a really consistent protest where people came out every day and there weren't many people sleeping there. But yeah, it was a daily protest for at least a month. Quite a few weeks. So same as Wellington, really, in terms of pushback. But anyway, Monica Schmidt got put in prison. She refused to sign the bail agreement, which was that she wouldn't be able to turn up to any protests. And so she stayed in prison for 23 days in Australia. So she has got together with Catherine Austin Fitz, and they have organised this amazing global walkout. And they're just suggesting small steps like spending cash. And then the second step was go to your local farmer's market or connect with your farmer and buy some food, that sort of thing. Anyway, I suggested that maybe they can make one of their steps in the future aligned with the Assange event. Now, I don't know if they're going to do that, but Monica has agreed to promote the event, and she asked for a poster. And of course, I haven't done a poster for the global event yet, and it's really hard to kind of meld together everyone's ideas because what we've got at the moment, as well as London, obviously, we've got your amazing event, which sounds just like a real speaking event, it sounds like, at the DOJ. And then in Melbourne, they're having a very similar event to London. They're actually going to try and cross the river and meet on the banks of the Yarra River in the middle of town, in the CBD in Melbourne. And again, they've got a lot of music planned. That's going through Rain Belgrave, who's with John Shipton in Melbourne. And, she's very much been organising those Melbourne weekly protests for years now, and some in Canberra. And so, the original plan was Canberra, put out by Mary Kostakidis. But then I think it got moved to Melbourne. I don't think Canberra's doing anything now. Which is fine because I think Melbourne's got more oomph there. Obviously, Canberra is a really tiny city. If you imagine DC, less than DC with nothing around it, really, really small, tiny kind of area. So I think it's better probably in Melbourne, where Julian had a bit more of a history and university and stuff. So Wellington are doing one now, and we're just gathering at the Parliament. We'll do the yellow ribbons like you guys. And like Truman in London, who everyone should know and send their name to. I've done mine and my family. And he puts up the ribbons lovingly at protests all the time, thousands of them. And so, yes, Ottawa's at the Centennial Flame outside the Parliament Hill. So their one is at 12. Your one is at 12, isn't it? Starting at 12?
12 to 3.
The London one starts at 1 o'clock, and they literally, I don't know if everyone's gathered, but they're going to be literally going over the river because one side of the Parliament building is literally the water. So they're going to go over the bridge, over the other side of the South Bank, and back over and kind of try and hug the entire building. And as far as I know, there's about 5,000 people who've pledged to. Oh, wow. Unless I got it wrong. I mean, I thought about 2,500, 3,000 like a week ago, but if I've got it right, I thought I saw something from WikiLeaks, but please don't quote me on that. I haven't fact checked it. Please do. But yes, I believe it's thousands of people have now signed up for the London chain. And so, we've got that event in Wellington in New Zealand. We've got Melbourne, we've got Ottawa, and we've got London at the moment. Those are the main ones. And then Tulsa. So Hayla Benson in Tulsa has got one, and then we've got San Francisco, we've got Bay Assange doing an action 12 o'clock at Harry Bridges Plaza. And oh my God, Halo, can you look up the one for Halo and because the park is a different park from normal, and so I can't remember exactly what I said, and I'm using my phone to do this, so sorry. I'd have to flick off. Maybe I can. Can I flick off in the middle of my call, or will it turn me off?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Yeah, anyway, it's way down the line. It's probably the second last on my thread on Twitter. So maybe if you get some time, you could go through that later.
Yep, I'm looking right now. My computer's just being stupid.
But yes, so Milan and Rome was my inability to read Italian.
Oh, Denver. Did you say Denver?
Denver.
Denver.
Thank
My
you.
friend,
Oh
if
my
you're in the
God, I've
Denver
been.
area, go to Denver. It's at the state
Yeah.
capitol from 12 to 2. My dear friend Kyle Anzalone, who's a journalist for antiwar.com and the Libertarian Institute, is the key speaker there. He's awesome. I love Kyle. And also Kendra will be there, obviously. So if you're in Denver, go to the Denver one. That's going to be
Yeah,
fantastic.
DNV Free Assange, isn't it her
Yep.
handle? Yeah,
Shout
yeah. Oh
out
my
to
God.
Kendra.
So Halo
Yay,
Benson as
Kendra.
well.
Yep. I'm
And
checking for
Jeannie,
Halo.
I believe, is organizing the San Fran one. And so that she's already put a poster out. So Jeannie, RN on Twitter. Pretty sure you know her. And yeah, so she's behind Bay Assange as well. So.
Oh, there it is. Tulsa is at Helmrich.
That's it. Helmrich Park. And what time?
Helmerich, Helmrich Park from 2 to 4 p.m.
Right. So yeah, I've got to try and make a poster where I pick up all of these now. It's going to be a bit easier that we haven't got Milan and Rome. What I haven't said yet is we've got Rio online, which is Fabiano Lima, who is a long-time supporter of Assange. Like, he was going before I entered the movement, that's for sure. And yeah, he's very good at doing online events, so I think he's trying to encourage Brazil cool. And also maybe other people to join on his online event. And there's a link also under Rio on my thread.
So I'll see if I can
pull. Yeah,
actually I'll just pull it. I'm going to pull up the thread. I'll put the link to the thread in the chat, so you'll go directly to that on Alex's Twitter thing, so you guys can just go, and it's just one-stop shop. It goes down through all of the events, and as more are added, they'll be added to the thread.
Yeah, and I just really encourage people to more than just go to that thread, actually dive in and go to the person producing that. I always register who it is that this event comes from. So please actually go there. And if you know anyone in those cities, that's really important, because we're all, I mean, a lot of us have lost accounts. I've lost all my personal New Zealand accounts. I've only got my candles for Assange left. So I'm being very careful with that one. A lot of people are in a similar situation who organise Assange actions and have been doing so for a while, and you know, they've lost their reach. So please consider that some of the people that might have had a platform before don't anymore. And so yeah, like, go to people that you know in the area and try and give them the heads up. No one's trying to take any credit for anything. I think it's really important that we go to the grassroots people and support them. The whole point of my thread was really just to stitch together solidarity. That's really what it's been about. And because I feel like there's so many isolated supporters around the world who want to do more, but you know, exhausted. Yeah, exhausted.
It's hard.
And
it really is.
It's not the sort of area people want to put their head on the block for.
Yeah, I'm not like trying to like. Come on, it's not that hard. Like, it's not that hard, but it is kind of exhausting, because you're right. A lot of people have. I haven't lost my platform yet. Knock on wood. I'm sure that will happen at some point. But yeah, you not only do you potentially lose your platform, but all of my Assange stuff is pretty heavily shadow banned. Like, none of that stuff. It's harder for it to gain traction. Not always. There will be some that sneak through where I'll start to get a lot of engagement on it. But for the most part, like, it's a noticeable difference. Like, I can tweet something about like something ridiculous that my kid said about farts or something, right? And it'll get thousands of likes. And then I'll tweet something out about an action, and it'll get like, a couple dozen or whatever. And it's, it's a very obvious thing that happens. This channel is, I mean, Sleepy knows, I think it's probably one of the most heavily shadow banned channels on YouTube. I mean,
and I guess it's title. Just, it's hard because people really want to come to protests, right? But it's, I guess it's just hard. No one really wants to organize things. No one wants to be the one who's all good. It's not actually, I don't think it's the work. I think people are fearing. They've seen pregnant women being wrestled to the ground in Melbourne. They've seen people like Monica Schmidt in Australia who have stood by their ground and refused to sign any bail agreement, and they're not going to protest, and ended up in jail for a month or two. So I think people are weary about putting their head on the block, but they really want to turn up and support it, and that's really, really hard, combined with the shadow banning. Because it would be nice to be able to sort of, have a weekly thing or a regular thing that someone else sometimes organizes and that you just come along to, it would be nice. But I find that no one wants to put their head on the block. So, as you get more busy on lots of projects, it's very hard to keep everything going. But yeah,
for
trying.
Yeah. We are.
So yeah, don't be afraid to organise a protest in your own city if you can't get to London. You know, especially cities away from London. I think we really need to focus on a little solidarity action with a yellow ribbon tied around a monument, a war memorial in town, or whatever. It could be really simple. It could just be you holding a sign and telling people.
A Sharpie, poster board, and a sidewalk. That's it. And I mean, even if like, you know, you just happen to, like, if you're on a busy street and you just stand there for a couple of hours and some people ask you some questions, like that's a huge thing. Like that's just getting the information out when there's such a blackout that's massive. I mean, that's, somebody said something about how, you know, the action that we're doing in DC is stupid. It's not going to do anything. And I'm like, I mean, do you know anything about organizing? That's what it is. Like, that's really what, especially with something like Assange, where there is such a blackout of information. A lot of people have no idea what's even happening. So just getting out there, getting in the streets, trying to get some attention, trying to get information out there, live stream those kinds of events, try to get new eyes on the situation. That's a huge part of the battle.
I mean, so many other groups have popped up since we started. So like, I count that as a win.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, they might be small events, but like we've seen it go from, you know, having 6 people there to, you know, a lot more. So
well, and to having events happening across the country now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, for sure. And so it takes a while, but you know, that's how you build fucking movements and shit.
Yeah. You have to start somewhere.
So. Yeah, for sure.
You don't start it, you certainly aren't going to build anything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of the things that I've been wondering,
make fun of those doing it, or you could just shut up and support, or do it yourself. If you can do better, please. I welcome the help. I welcome
well, we
the help.
We often say that the Assange movement really should apply to all people, but where we have problems is the psyop that has happened on Assange, and the fact that, you know, you've got all these other people with different opinions about Assange, even if they're positive. I'm wondering if we need to sort of redirect the focus, as we're all talking about basically the precedent is being changed on journalism. If we redirect the focus to something like, which is what I tried to do at the beginning of this protest, actually, is that no more lies, you know, this kind of idea, no more media lies. Like, we're all fed up with that, and it affects everyone, even if you're a greenie or any kind of whatever you're actually fighting for, it affects you. And this is something where you can begin to understand why people are so passionate about this movement. And if you don't understand why it applies to all of that, that seems to be the problem that we're having here, is that people think it's just about one man, and it's not.
It's not.
It's so not. And so I feel like maybe the way we could tap into way more people is if we start focusing on that censorship and this the media malfunction part, because there's so many problems, but really we can really bring most of them all back to the fact that we're not being properly informed.
That's why in April we did Truth is Freedom, because yes, it was Truth is Freedom and then Free Assange, but we wanted to put the focus on it. Listen, we can't, it doesn't matter, like all of these disagreements we have ideologically, none of that shit matters, because none of us are dealing with the truth. None of us. And we can't do anything or have discussions about anything until we're dealing in the truth. And so like the whole no more lies and all of that stuff, like we have to, like that should be our common ground. That's where
I feel like it might have to be like you did. It has to be the focus, something very simple. Maybe there's a better hashtag out there, but something that really focuses it down on the censorship and no more like surround your parliament, because you've like facing outwards, not looking at them. Like we are building the parallel society, but something like a silent moving protest where everyone goes, enough is enough. We are fucked off with this lying. Because it's killing so many people. I mean, we know that it's killed people in wars, you know, through lies for decades, but now we're in a different kind of era of information war. And it's just the same thing applies. It's just a very different battleground. And I think, for me, I don't want to neglect Assange at all. I'm not saying that, but I think we have to it's almost like with this one in Wellington, because I had actually come up with this idea a long time, and then Aotearoa for Assange went, oh, hug Belmarsh. I came up with this idea a long time ago because I was thinking it would be a moving, silent protest where you couldn't get the press dissing freedom protesters in New Zealand. And so I was suggesting we did that with a flower for each COVID or vaccine victim, whatever, you know, around and stand around the parliament and silently kind of protest it. But yeah, I feel like something like that where you almost make it only about media. Yeah. And try and get a real storm about it and say, brought to you by, in New Zealand, Free Assange NZ and Resistance Kiwis and this, but as a sort of horizontal movement that has got a lot of groups supporting it. You know, if we could do that in every city at the same time and focus just on the lies, so that some people going to it don't realize it's an Assange action, but it is deep down. Right. This is what the precedent we're pointing to here. But a lot of people will be coming for other reasons. And I think it's almost like we have to trick people into seeing it. Right. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that's completely loony. I do sometimes come up with loony, ridiculous things.
No, but, I love that idea. I think that's, I've been talking about that for a while because I think, obviously, Assange in his life is a thing that is worth fighting for. He should not be in prison. It is horrific what's happening to him. It's unbelievably tragic.
No brainer.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. But I do think that you're right. I think that it has been kind of narrowed down, and I think that that's one of the best criticisms of the movement. And I 100% take it on board. I agree with those people who have come with that constructive criticism that it has been too Assange-centric. Not that it shouldn't be like there shouldn't be some focus on him. Obviously, he's the one that's being used as the kind of warning, you know what I mean? Like it is.
But we've also been rejecting freedom movements that have come along and supported it en masse. Like when Ali did that stuff in Piccadilly Circus, and hundreds of people came along, and we got that video of literally instead of the normal 30 or so whatever people at Piccadilly, we had like hundreds of people standing around the monument, all cheering Free Assange. You see, that's what I'm talking about, and. Some in the Assange movement, not being funny, but they want to tell people like Monica to go fuck themselves, and actually they need to sort themselves out, because I'm over it, to be honest. I'm over this gatekeeping bullshit. I'm over it.
Yeah, I don't.
And I think it has to be spoken about. Sorry.
I don't do especially in something like this. Like, listen, you don't have to agree with everybody. You don't have to get along with everybody. You don't, and that's what I say all the time. I don't care.
Yeah,
like,
I know
if you're willing to fight with Assange, I might disagree with the way you want to go about doing it, but go do that thing. Absolutely, I got no problem with it. But you leave me to do my thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the division isn't just right and left anymore, though, is it? It's like, you know, you're with the establishment narrative or not, or you're left or right, or you're, you know, this sort of fragmentation thing. So and really that's why I think something like No More Lies, and we go, sod this kind of gatekeeping and saying, oh, no, we can't have those people in our movement. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if there are flat earthers and there are whatever. I don't care. Like, who cares? Like,
I can disagree with people and still recognize that this is a very important thing that impacts all of us, and we can all stand together on the thing that impacts all of us. That doesn't mean, like, it's so weird, Alex. It's so weird. It's so weird. Like, grown ass adults don't understand that you can stand side by side with somebody who you disagree with on a lot of things. But you can still work toward a common goal, and that doesn't mean that like you suddenly take on the beliefs and opinions of that person. And that's not how it works. It's just like, hey, we both want to fight for this thing, and that means more to us than our egos. It's just, I'm so over it. I'm so fucking over it.
And surely we know that things that we held dear and we were absolutely certain about. I mean, certainly us in the Freedom Free Press movement and the censorship movement, you know, surely we've found out that we were wrong, right? And we've had to go, my goodness, what I thought was, you know, left should have been right, and maybe what I thought was this should have been that, and so I am like giving the people the benefit of the doubt, because now I don't think you can say any fact checkers got it right in a long time now. You know, 100%. Well, again, and WikiLeaks was really, really good when it was operating properly. It was 100% accurate. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is we're not dealing with the truth. And so none of this shit matters. Like, people, like, even just saying left and right, those words mean nothing.
they've
They
finished.
mean
Yeah.
absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah.
It's that nobody knows nobody knows what a progressive is. Nobody knows what a fascist is. Nobody knows what any of these things mean anymore because they've just been bandied about. Like words don't have any meanings. It's all it is.
Well, I was thinking about me because I came from supporting Bernie like crazy online. That's how I got started, I suppose, somewhat. Was like passion about politics, really political junkie, and I was supporting the left, and I thought that was the best thing to do, and maybe it was at the time, but for sure, I've been taught that I was wrong, and so I've reviewed the evidence, and I've gone, actually, now I've changed my mind. Now it's only people that have done that in a dramatic way, I think, that can see what we can see. This is the problem, and I think they have to have that cognitive dissonance moment themselves and go, oh right, all these things that I really was so sure about because my institutions told me, completely wrong.
By the way, I just got confirmation on Dave DeCamp. Dave DeCamp will in fact be there, and he will be speaking, which makes me happy because I really like Dave DeCamp. He does great work. So he also has a show on antiwar.com or their YouTube page or whatever. You guys should check that out. He does great foreign policy stuff.
Cool. I saw Richard Medhurst mentioning the London protest anyway. It'd be great if he could
we're trying to get him to
mention the DC one and also the, all over the world. I mean, now we really do have Five Eyes. So we've got, New Zealand, Australia, Ottawa, and several in America confirmed, as well as London. So we have the Five Eyes now, so we can officially call it a Five Eyes global protest anyway.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice to have some Asian countries. We've got some people in South Korea and very, very isolated supporters though. And I mean, I think they do go out on the street with a sign and stuff on their own, but organizing stuff, again, same old problem. I think people don't want to organize, be responsible for the organizing. But yeah, I think, the people in Europe, I mean, Germany, Vienna, Brussels, Namur in Belgium, like they have been going weekly, and I think it means that there's less organization because you just rock up and just chat to people, maybe you have some pamphlets, and I think that is probably one of the most successful things, and we can see the reaping of the results of that in the European Parliament. You can see that in the German Parliament. You can see that obviously Mexico has got several active groups for Assange, and you can see what's happened in Mexico with giving him the city key. So I think those weekly protests are really, really powerful too. The big ones are great, but I think that might be the way to do it with the minimal feeling of organization, just rocking up somewhere, and then people will just gradually see that happening, I guess, and maybe join you, hopefully.
I reached out, or I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry. Jackson had his sister's getting married that weekend, so he cannot come.
Jackson Hinkle.
Yeah. We're trying to get a hold of Abby Martin. We're trying to get a hold of Kevin Gostola. Obviously, he's probably the premier journalist covering Julian Assange in the United States. He's been on it since day one. So, there are a lot of people working really hard. Trying to reach out to people from all different walks of life, whether it's actors, athletes, politicians, activists, whatever. I'll ask just about anybody. I mean, have you
got anyone in DC wwho can do a little bit of postering in there? Because what we do, I don't know, maybe it's completely.
Did you not see what Randy's doing?
No. I have to look. Is it on your
running the billboard truck for like the last few weeks, and then they'll like go and like stop on a corner somewhere, and then he'll get out and hand out flyers and stuff. So he's been handing out flyers for the event. So
because in Wellington we often go in the middle of the night because it's not a very big city, so you can quickly get around all the main crossings in the town and basically just use flour and water and a piece of paper printed with really bold words on it for the event you're advertising, and just do it on the sidewalk, and it just disappears in the rain, but it's so effective, and no one gets upset because you're not covering any posters, and you can do substations, like little electrical things, and anywhere where is not a sort of commercial poster placing zone. And that is really, really effective as well. Way to get the word out
Randy's
locally
stuff
to
out
people
in the streets right now. About a week or 10 days out from the event, Assange Defense is going to pay to have the billboard truck switch to the flyer for the event. So we'll have like a week or 10 days of that driving around the streets of DC with the event information on it. Earlier I said I want to go down probably like 10 days to 14 days out and try to get into some of like the outside the Beltway neighborhoods. And
cool.
hand out a flyer out there if I can.
And you can do yellow ribbons.
Yeah. We can do yellow ribbons.
I mean, maybe that's something really visual that we could do in all the photos of all the events that day, is all of us work really hard to get as many yellow ribbons somewhere on a tree or whatever it is. Yeah. At the place with the people, and get a nice photograph with as many yellow ribbons in it as possible, because I think, you know, Truman does an amazing job of keeping the energy going, and representing all those isolated people who are even more isolated than us in the cities. So I think that'd be really great. And I think some of those visual things, like if we had a powerful group photo from every venue and then tweeted that out as a photo, it would be amazing if there was one thread of color that went through all of them to show the united front. So
well, we're actually going to be surrounding the Department of Justice with giant yellow ribbons, but then also Paula already ordered it, so she got like a shit ton of yellow ribbon. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to both start in the same place and then go around the building, cross each other, and then come back around so that we meet, you know what I mean?
Right. What, you're going to do it above the door or whatever? How are you going to do that?
Just all the way around the building. Like it's a big ass building on the sidewalk.
How do people walk through the door? Hold it. Okay.
Hold it and walk with around. So there'll be like a yellow ribbon going. Beautiful. And it'll be like a march almost. And then
so is it going to be like a really super fat yellow ribbon? Cool.
Yeah.
So
and then Paula's also making a backdrop for the all the speakers that we have. That's yellow ribbons and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. I'm excited for it. So cool.
So I'm just talking to the various groups around New Zealand and also Monica Schmidt in Australia, and trying to, you know, which is going to tap into Catherine Austin Fitts. So hopefully we might get a little bit of movement in the Southern Hemisphere too going. And then she'll find out about the Melbourne one and hopefully put that on. I mean, I think it'd be a really wonderful step of hers if one of her steps was invest $5, buy me a coffee for your favorite content creator that isn't alt media, you know, put some money where your mouth is, because these people aren't getting funded anymore, you know. I think that would be an important one, because it gives you the double message of anti-censorship and anti the attack on free press. It gives you both at the same time, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. And we need to support independent media. I say that all the time, now more than ever, please, because they're getting hit from all angles. They're getting demonetized, they're getting deplatformed, they're getting shadow banned, they're getting killed algorithmically, they're getting smeared, slandered. Rolling Stones dropping articles, trashing people and calling them Putin puppets. Eva Bartlett's on a fucking kill list.
I know. You know, Roger Waters.
Yeah. I mean, yes, please. Oh, Rob's here. Hi, Rob. Okay, so
hey, Rob.
That's all I have for you guys for right now. Oh, I guess I should drop the GoFundMe link. We are up to $1,417. If you guys can pitch in, please do. If you cannot, I get it. But sharing is very helpful. The more we raise, the bigger we can go, and all of this stuff, like the ribbons and all that stuff, all very expensive. I think we're gonna skip doing a stage. Just because cost-wise, we just it doesn't seem worthwhile. But we are going to rent the sound system from Lucy, and the choir down there. Renting it locally is going to be helpful, and also we're renting it from another activist group, so it's kind of like keeping the money in the family a little bit. So we'll be able to do that. But then obviously we're going to need money for flyers. We're going to need money for an Airbnb if we can swing it. If not, I mean, I don't know. We're just going to have to figure out what all we can raise, because I would rather have the supplies than, I mean, hotel rooms and stuff. It's hard because I like to we've always gotten an Airbnb that we can fit like 10, 12 people in, because that just helps some of the people who are doing the work on the ground. It gives us all a place to stay where we can all just kind of be together. Makes it a lot easier and cheaper for everybody.
Did you say that there's going to be a women's march on that day?
Yeah.
Isn't that just sod's law, or is that just ridiculous or too much to be a coincidence again?
What for what? What do you mean?
Is it everywhere around the world or just DC?
Oh no, I think it's just DC. But it's gonna be good. That's unfortunate. That's gonna be
good.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
It's always something.
Yes,
always fucking something every single event.
Every time we try.
Either they tie you to a right wing one, or
yeah, we didn't choose the date. Somebody else did, and we're just going with the flow. We're gonna do the best we can under the circumstances.
I think
but
the 3rd to the 8th of October was traditionally WikiLeaks week because wasn't WikiLeaks born then? Yeah, so I think that's where it came from.
I get it.
Yeah, in fact, Melbourne are doing events all week. Actually, I should have said that. There's been stuff. I think in a couple of days' time, there's going to be one as well.
A Merrick Garland thing, probably more than one. And I know Paula will do more than one. For myself, it will depend on how many days I can get with a babysitter. So that's it depends for me. That's hard for me. So, but Paula, I think is going to do multiple vigils outside Merrick Garland's house too. So once
tag me when she knows, because if you see that, because I want to put that on my list.
She's probably going to do, I would imagine she'll probably do like a Friday evening one. I think she wants to do one Saturday morning before our event. So it'll go like early in the morning. And then I think she also wants to do one Sunday morning. And then after they do the Sunday morning one, she'll just leave and drive back to Boston then. So hopefully I'll be able to make all 3 of those. I don't know. Again, just depends on whether or not I can finagle babysitters. That's always tough. So yeah. Are y'all going to be staying in an area where I'm hoping to get a slightly better Airbnb this time. Yes, the last time we were in DC, delivery drivers would not even come, and Rachel Blevins was fearful for our safety. So she used to live in DC, obviously. She worked for RT, and she lived in DC, and I got there on Friday. She had me on her show that Friday night. And before we went on air, she was like, so where are you guys staying? And I told her, and she instantly cringed and then was like, be safe.
Oh, God.
And I was like, oh shit, we're going to die. We're all going to die. It was fine. Nobody gave us any problems. There was a couple of times that like neighbors were out and about in the morning when we were packing up stuff to head to the actions and stuff. Everybody was perfectly lovely, but delivery drivers wouldn't even come into that neighborhood. So
wow.
Be cool if we could get someplace a little bit better than that, but is what it is. And yeah, Rob, we are going to not hijack, but we are going to visit the march. We have people who are going to visit their march as well. So yeah, we don't want to, I wouldn't want somebody to come and take over my event. So I refuse to do that. But I think it would be fine to have a presence at their event. So yeah, we're going to do that. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get a better Airbnb this time. We shall see. Yeah, Glory was a witness. That was a fun trip though. Okay, I think that's all I have for now. I will have another meeting next week, so I'll be able to have more updates on different speakers that we're trying to reach out to. Keep an eye on Alex's Twitter page, Candles for Assange.
Candles for Assange. Yeah.
Rob, I love you more. And I haven't forgotten your goodie box, I promise. And buttons.
Oh, yeah. I need to send you my address.
Yes. I have so much shit that I'm so far behind on, but my life has genuinely sucked over the last few months. So that's not an exaggeration. It really has sucked.
I got a new job the same day I got sexually assaulted by that policeman.
Oh, good. I mean,
no kidding.
Bad mixed together, right?
Good and bad. Yeah, at the same time. Really. It was really interesting. I got myself cleaned up from having cried in the rain for hours because I was waiting outside where Jacinda was with a bunch of people just trying to hold a sign up. And I thought, God, I'm going to make use of this because I'd come a long drive away from Wellington and used quite a lot of petrol to go up there, and I was feeling a bit guilty because I wasn't doing enough work to kind of justify my existence. And I thought, and I'd rung up this guy about a green material I was looking into, and it turned out to be the place that does the tests on the materials. They're like the mythbusters of the building industry. And he said, oh, you sound like someone who should work for us. So, okay. So I just went and rocked up because it was kind of halfway back home. And so I went and rocked up and ended up having a 3-hour interview. But I literally had to clear myself up from being in the rain for 3 hours before that. So, yeah, it was a miracle. And I got the job. So it's only one day a week. But I'm now a scientist again and a teacher again.
Nice.
Architecture
Congratulations.
teacher. Yeah. So I get to do more than just drawing up shitty council plans of non-green buildings, which doesn't please me. I'm so over the fake greenies. I really am.
Me too.
Yeah. So yeah, now I get to use my brain a little bit more in my job, which is nice.
Cool. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's good news.
Yeah.
I like that. I like a little bit of good news. It's been a while. Yeah. Good news is not very common these days, unfortunately.
No. And the police did contact me about my assault, but only once, and I've not heard from them again since I sent them the video. So,
of course.
I don't think they're going to be investigating themselves really well. So
no, probably not. They don't usually. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to drop the GoFundMe link one more time. Candles for Assange. Don't forget, go follow and go to the thread. Share out the events. You never know who's following you, who may see it. So share out all of the events that you can.
I have a YouTube channel, Alex Hills, as well.
Good. Yeah, tell everybody. Hype it. Is it just Alex Hills?
It's just Alex Hills on YouTube. I think they're also backing it up on Odyssey, unless I've screwed that up.
They may have screwed it up too. Let's be real.
Yeah, Odyssey's a little weird, or I've heard a lot of people have had some issues with them.
Yeah, I think if you uninstall the app on your phone, you might actually, unwittingly take away all your content.
Oh.
Well, I'm not sure. That seems to have happened for me, but maybe I just.
Library maybe, but the Odyssey one should be okay.
Oh,
okay, cool.
Okay. All right, so I'll have more updates next week on more speakers and all of that stuff. Also, I'll be updating on Twitter. I'm going to get graphics made so we can blast those out on social media for all the different guests and stuff. The GoFundMe link's in the chat. Candles for Assange is in the chat. Make sure you help us spread the word. Also, reach out to people in independent media and ask them to help us hype the event. I don't care who it is, Crystal Ball, Jordan Cheriton, Ryan Graham, whoever. I don't give a fuck. Ask them to hype the event. And I think that's all I have.
If you know people in DC, Tulsa, San Fran, Denver, Wellington, and Melbourne and London, get them to those events, please.
Yeah.
Anyone
to go? Yeah, anyone. Everyone's welcome. Okay, I think that's it. So we'll be back next week sometime. Our meetings are on Thursday, but if I have more stuff, I might jump on at another time. I'm also out of town next week, so that's going to be a little bit weird. So, but yeah, we'll be back with more updates, and keep an eye on social media too, because we're going to start blasting out all of that stuff too. So, okay, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Appreciate. I think I can get the MCSC network to boost the event. Do you really think so, Glory? Oh, that would be fantastic. I don't know anybody there, and they have really good reach. So yeah, if you could get MCSC to. And we're going to be streaming the event too, just so everybody knows. I haven't figured out the logistics of that yet. But I think Roar Media is going to help us with that. I'm sure Sleepy can help us with that, but we're going to make sure that we can stream the event as well. So everybody can, if you can't make it, you can still kind of be there. So, okay, we'll be back next week. More stuff. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you. Thanks, Alex. It was good to see you. Sleepy Josh, thanks for coming.
Nice to see you, Josh.
Good to see
everyone.
you.
See you next week, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
We love you.